everybody, this is Lynn from Creative Concept Crafts with our third little item, the Lighthouse wine bottle holder. This one will hold a 75 centilitre bottle of wine, and I've taken the liberty of printing out the piece that we need. I've scored all the necessary lines and burnished them, so we're ready now to actually go straight ahead and add our mats. It's done in a single piece, so it's quite a quick and easy little box to do. It looks great. It's a great gift holder, and once it's no longer got any bottle of wine, because I'm presuming you've drunk it, you can use it a second time, or you can actually pop in what am I trying to think of? You can pop in a battery operated tea light and use it as a night light, maybe in a kiddie's bedroom. Okay, so I'm just adding glue around the outsides, just a couple of dots across the window pane sections and a squiggle in the middle. So each piece, line up the aperture pieces, everything will line up exactly. And once you've got it into position, just press down, and then I'm just going to burnish it into position to get that glue to bind. The next section is the little door section. Again, a little bit of glue around the outside, across the bottom, up the top, across the aperture pieces, little dots across the window sections, door sections, and a little squiggle in the middle. And again, everything, line up those aperture pieces. That will keep your mat straight. Make sure that you keep these mats in the same way up that they come off your mat. Otherwise you'll find that they won't line up exactly at the top. So make sure you don't sort of twist one upside down, or else it won't fit properly. So we're whizzing through the other pieces. Last piece. What I've used here is a 250 gram base white card, and the stripy card is actually the same thing that I've printed. So it's quite sturdy. Burnish the last piece down, and we're just going to add the windows and door decorative pieces. And for this I've used a 280 gram photographic card. The one I use, if I can get my hands on it, is Lidl's. I think it's great. So again, just dotting and dabbing. Position over the aperture. And just wiggle it into position and press it down. And the starts of the window sections. You don't have to use photographic card, but I rather like the finish it gives. And we're just going to whiz the video through now for the other pieces. It'd be great if you could actually do it at this speed, wouldn't it? And the last piece in position. So make sure everything's firmly down, and we're just going to push it to one side to allow the glue to dry a little bit. In the meantime, pick up the roof pieces. Now you'll see that there are pieces with slots in. That's for ribbon to thread through to make a handle. If you don't want to put any ribbon or a handle on the box, then omit those two pieces and just use 6 plain pieces. The option is yours. I've actually burnished all these pieces, but how I did it was just pinch between my thumb and finger, give it quite a firm squeeze, and you'll find it will automatically shape, and there's a little tab on the top. So I've done the same with all the pieces. I'm just flattening them down a little bit now to make them easier to glue. So again, fine line down the curve and on the rest of the tab. Line up exactly with the tab top. There's a score line on the tab top, and line up the curve at the bottom. Burnish into place, flip over, get that glue down. And we're going to whiz through the rest of the pieces. They're all done the same way. 2 plain pieces and the ribbon section in between on each bit here. So there's 2 and 1, 2 and 1. Final piece going into position. Like I said, if you don't want to put the ribbon on, just omit that and use 6 plain pieces. Okay. So there I'm showing you the ribbon slots, 2 pieces, ribbon slot and 2 pieces. And now we're going to come in with the matte pieces. First of all, I'm just going to line up the pieces to the relevant shape. This is actually paper that I matched up to the stripe, and I actually created my own 2-toned paper for the roof. I use a graphics package called Coral Draw. I've used it for many years, and it's great if you haven't got the right colour that you want. You can pull in from what you're using, as long as you've printed it out. If it's a USB or something that's on the machine, you can pick those colours up to match up. It's great. So again, whizzing through, getting those pieces glued and burnished. Final piece around the outside. In case you're wondering what I'm using for the glue applicator, it's a hair dye bottle that I've added the nozzle from refill printer ink. You know, the long, thin metal nozzles that come with the refill ink for a printer, and chopped off quite a chunk at the end of it, so I've got a very, very fine nozzle, which is just superb for fine gluing. You can get into the tiniest of spaces with it. It's super. Now I'm just bending back the tabs at the top just to allow me to join up the 2 sections so we can close off the roof. It's a little bit fiddly is this one because it's a bit tight at the top, but get it matched in there, and then I've turned it on its side to burnish down. Okay, so I'm just moving the pieces out. Put your first one down, put a little bit of glue on it, pop the next one down, a little bit of glue, turn it round a bit, pop it down, and continue like this until you've got all those top pieces closed up. Doesn't matter if it doesn't burnish down at this stage. Once we get the roof, the mat on, it'll hold it all down. So that's it, more or less. Just give it a push. I'm going to put a tiny little piece on the top of that to hold it together. So line it up. And give it a good push from the inside. And then we've got a tiny little coloured mat to finish off the roof section. Pop it into place. And there's your roof section completed. Okay, so now while that's drying off, we'll finish off the construction of the base section. Because we'd flattened out the burnishing. I'm just doing it again just to reshape the box. And now we can glue together our final section. So again, cover the tab, but not too much glue. If you use too much glue, you will find that you'll get waving of your cardstock. So you need enough, but not too much. Just turning it round so that I can make sure it's all lined up. Burnish it down. And then I'm just going to go to the inside of it to firm it down. Okay, so I'm sitting it on its head to finish off the base now. So I'm just going to put like a triangle of glue just to do no more than hold the base into position. I'm not burnishing down at this stage because I want to be able to wiggle the shape for the base hexagon to fit. If you burnish it down here and it's not the right shape, you'll end up having to undo it. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to glue around the whole of the hexagon, but then when I start to position this, I will start off with the piece that's sat up at the front. At the minute I'll turn it round and that'll be the first section that I will put down. So I'm pushing that down. Pinch it between your thumb and your finger just to firm it into position. Rotate, firm into position, and just continue rotating and firming for all 6 pieces. You can push down as much as you want, but it's much easier. There we go, it's all into position. Turn it up now, and the best thing, a bit of weight so that you can finish. There's the handle going on. I've got a couple of pieces of foam tape on that, tiny, tiny little pieces. So that's the door handle in position. And now to finish and firm that base, stick in your bottle, get a bit of weight in there to get that glue to stick everything down. Okay, so now we've got the lid and the base, and we just need the ribbon now so that we've got a handle for our box. So tip the box upside down and going with your door facing you, we're going to put some double-sided tape right across that middle section. Now I've used an organza tape for the handle here. You could probably use a satin ribbon, just the same, but I like organza. I always think it's pretty. So just stick one end about halfway in to your box. And then making sure your ribbon's straight, you're going to thread it into your lid from the underside through to the right side. So underside to the right side. Just pop it into position. And we're going to come in from the opposite side, from the right side to the wrong side. Just giving it a push, poke through there. So I'm pulling through, and then I'm just going to tip it over, and the other end we're now going to take and match up to the middle and pop it onto that double-sided tape. You can just pull that so that you've got an even split halfway. I'm just turning the box on its end again because I'm going to put a reinforced base piece on now to sandwich the organza ribbon inside, and with glue, with double-sided tape, that seam isn't going to go anywhere. Now I'm going to be gluing the organza ribbon to the side of the box next, and I have found it can be a bit tricky to get it to stick. If you've got a tacky glue that glues quickly, you may want to use it at this point, but I've also, on another video I tried and it was successfully, I used double-sided red tape. So it was just a narrow one, so I put a narrow on each side of the ribbon. Instead of where I'm putting the glue, I just put a thin strip of double-sided red tape, and that did the job. It's going to go up to the box to about midway on the second window. So you're gluing it up to about second, where the crossbar is on the second window on both sides. Just putting the glue on the second side. I think this is probably one of the fiddliest bits, but it's quite a simple box to construct. So again, to about the halfway point, gluing it all into position, pop the lid on, and there's your little lighthouse box.